Connie Carpenter Phinney was born on August 12, 1957, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, United States. Growing up in a family with a passion for sports, Connie developed an early love for athletics. Her father, an avid cyclist, introduced her to the world of competitive sports, and she quickly became involved in a wide range of physical activities, from running to swimming. However, it was cycling that ultimately captured her attention and would go on to define her career. She began cycling at the age of 13, inspired by her father's enthusiasm for the sport. Early on, she demonstrated an exceptional talent for endurance and racing, quickly advancing in local competitions. Carpenter Phinney was not just a talented athlete, she was determined and driven. Her introduction to cycling came at a time when women's cycling was still developing and far less recognized than the men's scene. However, she had no intention of letting that deter her, and with every race, her passion for cycling grew. Career beginnings and development. Carpenter Phinney's rise through the cycling ranks was marked by a commitment to excellence. She entered her first professional competition at the age of 18, competing in local races and steadily improving her skills. Her natural talent soon caught the eye of cycling coaches and professionals, who saw potential in the young athlete. Throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, Carpenter Phinney competed in numerous domestic races, gaining experience and success as she honed her craft. In the early stages of her career, Carpenter Phinney faced the challenges common to women athletes in the 1970s and 1980s, including limited access to resources, media exposure, and financial support. However, she persevered, believing in the potential of women's cycling. She began to earn victories in smaller races, which allowed her to compete at larger events, both in the United States and internationally. Her breakthrough came in 1980, when she won the United States National Road Championship, marking her first major national title. This victory helped solidify her reputation as one of the United States' top cyclists. It also opened the door for her to participate in more prestigious international events, where she would prove herself against some of the best female cyclists in the world. Career peak and main achievements. Connie Carpenter Phinney's peak came in the mid-1980s, during which she cemented her place in the history of cycling. Her athleticism, strategic acumen, and consistency in major competitions propelled her to the forefront of the sport. Some of her most remarkable achievements during this time are detailed below. Olympic gold medal, 1984. Carpenter Phinney's crowning achievement came at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, where she won the gold medal in the women's road race. At the time, women's road racing had only recently been introduced to the Olympic program, and Carpenter Phinney's victory was historic. She not only became the first American woman to win an Olympic gold medal in cycling, but she also demonstrated the strength, endurance, and tactical intelligence required to win on the world's biggest stage. Her win in the Olympic road race was a monumental moment for women's cycling, and Carpenter Phinney was celebrated as one of the sport's brightest stars. National championships. In addition to her Olympic success, Carpenter Phinney was a dominant force in the U.S. national championships. She won multiple national road race championships throughout the 1980s, further establishing herself as a leading figure in American cycling. Her success on home soil, coupled with her international accomplishments, helped to cement her reputation as one of the best cyclists in the world. World Championships. In 1983, Carpenter Phinney won a silver medal in the UCI Road World Championships, an impressive achievement that showcased her competitive drive and ability to perform on the global stage. Her consistent performances at the World Championships helped solidify her place among the elite cyclists of her time. Successful racing career. Carpenter Phinney's career was marked by numerous victories, including major domestic and international one-day races and stage races. She often found herself in podium positions, showcasing not only her endurance and skill but also her ability to outlast and outsmart her competitors. Her performances in events like the Tour de l'Aude and the Redlands Bicycle Classic helped define her as one of the best American cyclists of the 1980s. Innovation and advocacy for women's cycling. Carpenter Phinney was not just a phenomenal athlete. She was also an advocate for the development of women's cycling. During a time when women's cycling was often underfunded and marginalized, she worked to create more opportunities for women cyclists, pushing for better representation and recognition. Her contributions went beyond her race victories, as she became a role model for young female athletes everywhere. Transition to retirement and final years in cycling. After a distinguished career that spanned nearly a decade, Carpenter Phinney began to wind down her competitive cycling career in the late 1980s. Despite this, she remained involved in the sport and continued to contribute to the growth of women's cycling in various ways. Following her retirement from professional cycling, she became more involved in coaching and mentoring young athletes, offering advice and insight into the mental and physical demands of the sport. In 1989, Carpenter Phinney married Davis Phinney, another elite American cyclist, and together they became one of cycling's most famous couples. They both competed at the highest level of the sport, and later, they worked together to promote cycling and provide coaching and support to younger riders. Their shared love for cycling and commitment to the sport helped further elevate the visibility of women's cycling in America. Although Carpenter Phinney never returned to the competitive circuit after her retirement, her legacy in the sport endured. In 2003, she was inducted into the United States Bicycling Hall of Fame, honoring her groundbreaking contributions to cycling and the history-making gold medal win in the 1984 Olympics. She was also named one of the top 50 most influential cyclists of the 20th century by Cycling Weekly. Legacy and influence. Connie Carpenter Phinney's legacy is multifaceted. As an Olympic gold medalist, a world-class cyclist, and a passionate advocate for women's cycling, she helped to shape the trajectory of the sport. Her success in the 1984 Olympics paved the way for future generations of women in cycling, inspiring countless young girls to pursue their dreams on the bike. Carpenter Phinney's achievements in a male-dominated sport helped prove that women were capable of achieving greatness in cycling. Beyond her athletic feats, Carpenter Phinney's advocacy for women's rights in sports and her role as a mentor for younger cyclists solidified her place as one of the pioneers of women's cycling. Her leadership and dedication to the sport continued to inspire athletes, coaches, and fans long after her retirement. Final reflections and legacy preservation. In the years since her retirement, Carpenter Phinney has continued to stay involved in cycling through her role as a speaker, mentor, and advocate for women's sports. Her contributions to the sport, both on and off the bike, are immeasurable, and she remains a revered figure in the cycling community. With her historic Olympic gold medal and numerous titles, she carved out a legacy as one of the finest athletes of her generation and a trailblazer for women in cycling. Today, Connie Carpenter Phinney's achievements continue to serve as an inspiration to cyclists worldwide, demonstrating that with determination, perseverance, and passion, athletes can transcend barriers and achieve greatness. Her influence on the sport of cycling and on women's athletics, in general, will be felt for generations to come.